Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show. I am MKT. You are whoever you are. And if you're South African, welcome to level 1. As you've just seen, your president has now set you free, I guess. Wear a mask, though. Something I noticed, though, unforgivable. The guy's still got a landline, like an old school phone. The guy's a billionaire. Get a cordless phone. I mean, what's going on here? Cyril Ramaphosa, huh? Unbelievable. MKT Show, welcome to it. Plenty to get through today. Really, really fun show. We're going to do something I haven't done before. 3 segments today. We'll chat about Gareth Bale. Is he on his way to somewhere interesting? We'll chat a little bit about Aston Villa's new situation with their captain. Exactly what happened there. I'll talk to you about what I think happened there. Their captain just signed a brand new deal. And then I'll talk to you about a suggestion by Gary Neville that a certain player is on the same level as Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi, and why I think that's ridiculous. Welcome to it, folks. Cliff Central Sport, of course, on the YouTube machine where you are watching us, Instagram and Facebook. Otherwise, at Cliff C Sport on the Tweet Monster. Send us your questions. You can either tweet them to us or you can indeed just put them in the comment section, and the good man Dave will get them to me and we'll get to them. We got Q&A coming up as well. Slightly later today, I thought we'd give you that break to go and see whether you are allowed to go out in public and swap saliva with your friends at braais, etc. It is summertime. Good luck to you, South Africans, fellow South Africans. As Cyril might say, can't believe the guy's got a landline. Still shocked. Billionaire, still got a landline. Looks like he's in the 60s. Anyway, guess that's why he's a billionaire and I am not. Cyril Ramaphosa. Folks, let's get into it. I'm having such a great week so far. Thursday, been really, really fun. I got a fun job. Let's get into it. GB11, Gareth Bale, may very well be on his way back to Tottenham. But here's the thing. I still know people who work at Tottenham. Fortunate enough to have been an understudy there for a little while before I went to Watford. So I still know people who work there, had a chat with them. They don't know too much. Unfortunately, I don't have anything from the ground. But I was saying to one of my old coaches, and I made this analogy. My personal philosophy in life is that I never, ever, 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 and I've had this opportunity with one girlfriend, is to go back. Never, ever go back. Right? Because the reason you broke up with somebody will always exist. I don't care how mature you think you are, how mature she is, he is. Never, ever go back. It never works out. I'll tell you why. Number one is you still see that old person like the person they were when you found the reason to break up with them. Whether it's you or the other person, they still hold you as that person they broke up with, not the person you may have become now. Now, relationships are complicated enough, right? You don't need to add that kind of stuff, like I'm holding it over you. It never works. I know people say, oh, he's matured, she's matured, acceptance, growth, nonsense. The reason you broke up will always exist. And the reason why Tottenham should go in near Gareth Bale, I think he's a worldly player, by the way. But he's bigger than Tottenham. Hey, we've all seen an ex-girlfriend and an ex-boyfriend out at the shops, and you're like, oh my goodness, where was that body when you were with me? Hey, where were those hair highlights when you were with me? We've all seen that. Unless unless you're an alien and you've never dated anybody or been attracted to anybody. We've all had that regret. We've all had it. Gareth Bale's too big for Tottenham. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. When Bale left, he was still a hopeful. He was grateful to be at Tottenham. Now there's a relationship imbalance. Let me give you an example. As we age, I'm reaching that age now with my mother, as I turn 34, is for so long, all my mother did was look after me. Now, when I say to my mother, no, I need to give you advice, it's a rough ride. It's tricky, right? And I know anybody above the age of 35, I'm sure you've had this awkward conversation where there's the role reversal now is you've got resources. Now your parents don't know how to handle that is, Oh, they don't need money from me. They don't need my help so much. They'll come to me when they need me. Oh, no, there's a power imbalance. And now the 65-year-old needs the 35-year-old's help. There's a power dynamic shift, right? Gareth Bale is now bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. How do you deal with that? Because that is real. I don't care what people say. That is real. Gareth Bale is bigger than Tottenham Hotspur, which is why if I were him, I'd go nowhere near it. If I'm Gareth Bale, in fact, I don't come back unless I'm going to Man City or Chelsea, really. Because at Liverpool, he's probably going to be rotated. I go to Man City or I go to Chelsea, I'm guaranteed to start, and then I'm guaranteed at the level I want to be. The guy's been playing with Toni Kroos and Cristiano Ronaldo for the last 5 years. What's he going to do? Play with Ndombele? With Serge Aurier? He's going to get to practice and think this is amateur hour. That's not going to work. I'm sorry, if you've left the relationship before and your new partner is better, right? You don't think back to the worst partner and the old one and go, oh man, you're like, oh, this is great. My new girlfriend's fitter. My new girlfriend likes to ski. My new girlfriend's teaching me new stuff. She's a pilot. She's a doctor. You never think of, oh, at least I had, the old one when I was a loser and I didn't want to grow. You celebrate the new one that keeps pushing you to the next level. Gareth Bale can't come to Tottenham and see Davies as his left back. He had Marcelo, a generational all-timer, 100-cap Brazilian left back. What's he going to do? Who's he going to... What, Toby Alderweireld? I've had Sergio Ramos for 10 years, or 5 years. I must come back and have Toby Alderweireld. No, come on now. Come on now. There's no going back in life. And you know what the thing about seeing better is? You can't unsee things. He's seen Toni Kroos now. Or Harry Winks. Modric, Harry Winks. No, it's too much now. Bale comes back. All that happens is his reputation takes a knock because he's a very, very different player to the young flying winger he was when he was at Tottenham. Now he's a global superstar who probably doesn't drop back as much. Get me the ball. I'll do the hard work up front. You guys do the other nonsense. He left as Gareth Bale. He comes back as GB11. Folks, never, ever get back with your ex, boyfriend or girlfriend. The reason you broke up will always exist. This would be the biggest disaster move ever for Gareth Bale. Don't stop getting emotional about it. People get so emotional and they remember the good times. The good times are gone. There's a reason you broke up. Gareth Bale outgrew Tottenham. Now he must be mature. He goes to Bayern Munich. He goes to Inter Milan. He goes to AC Milan. He goes to another massive club elsewhere. If he comes to the Premier League, there is only two clubs. Chelsea or Man City. Superstar clubs with superstar players at the moment. He goes to Liverpool. Problem is their two best players occupy Bale's position. And Bale, now we've seen, Cristiano Ronaldo couldn't win the Champions League without him. He's a big deal. Bale needs to be the guy, not a guy. He needs to be the guy. He comes to Chelsea, he's the guy immediately. I love Pulisic, but he's not Gareth Bale. I love Pulisic. He is nowhere near Gareth Bale right now. Let's be very clear. Gareth Bale is a different animal. He's as close to Messi and Ronaldo as there is on the planet right now. Don't give me Neymar. It's ridiculous. Bale's the next step down. We've seen it. I mean, legendary goals. You go through Bale's catalog of goals in massive games. Go on YouTube. Bale, Copa del Rey, Barcelona. The famous goal. I mean, he runs 10 meters off the pitch around Mark Batra. Quite an incredible goal. And a catalog of them. Headers in the Champions League finals. Quite brilliant. The bicycle kick against Juventus. People underrate that in the Champions League final, by the way. Better than the Zidane goal. Gareth Bale is prime time. He's ready for the big time. He comes back, and all he's going to do... Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about people. After 18 years old, after 7 years old, but let's talk more realistically. After 18 years old, you are who you are. Tottenham are who they are. Happy to be in the Champions League, but whatever, we're in the Europa League. They are who they are. When you break up with somebody, they are who they are. When you come back and she still leaves socks on the floor, right? She still gets boozed on a Monday night. You can't be upset by that. You knew that. You knew that before that's why you broke up with her, and then you miss the comforts of home and you get back with her, and then you want to whinge because the socks are still on the floor. She doesn't clean her dishes. That's what she was before. Tottenham are what they are. Bale must move on, bigger, better, and he retires in Qatar in America. It's a terrible move for both parties. It's a terrible move for both parties. I want to switch over to this. So I was saying earlier this year, people were saying Grealish this, Grealish that. He's got his English cap. Jack Grealish just signed a new 5-year contract at Aston Villa. Two things happened here. The nonsense. So here I have inside info. I know somebody who works at Aston Villa. Man United never ever came in for him. Let's be very clear. There was never ever a firm offer. There was never an offer. There was never an inquiry even. I have that on good authority. There was never an inquiry. So there was no market for Jack Grealish. And because I love saying, I told you so, I told you so. Do you know why? Because this isn't the lads kicking the ball around at the park. This is Man United. And when he's out on boats getting drunk, do they need more trouble after what they've had with their captain, Harry Maguire? Greenwood? Ollie now knows he's got a problem in the dressing room. I'll give you an example. The All Blacks a couple of years ago had lost their way. 2003, Tana Umanga has come out and spoken and said there was a drinking culture problem. That's why they couldn't get the big one done. I mean, they had Jeff Wilson, Jonah Lomu, Tana Umanga, Peter Alatini, Alama Ieremia, Ruben Thorne, Todd Blackadder, Chris Jack, Norm Maxwell. That side couldn't win. Not a talent problem. Talent is not enough. I've always said to people, and I've said it on here a couple of times, and I'll keep saying it. I'm not impressed by talent. I'm not impressed by talent. Talent is everywhere. I'm impressed by character. Now, that is rare. That is rare. I was talking to my mother the other day, and I said to her, Mom, I don't like to work with young people. Honestly, I don't like to work with people under the age of 25. And my mom and I are polar opposites. She loves young people. She likes the energy. She likes the fresh mind. I say, I'm getting on now. I don't like to work with people below the age of 32, 33, because I like people that are consistent. Young people, great energy, too erratic for me. Too erratic for me. I don't like working with young people. If you're under 32, 33, for me, arm's length, because I like consistency. I know what I like to know what I'm going to get Monday to Sunday, whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood. With young people, you don't know. I remember when I was young, hey, that's all good. Not for me. It's great, energy, whatever. It's great. But I like to know what I'm getting. Jack Grealish, I don't know what I'm getting. It's like working with a teenager. And Man United cannot afford that. They are the biggest brand in the world. Maybe not the best, but certainly the biggest. You can't afford that. We know what Jack Grealish is. Now we've seen him. He is who he is, people. Stop empathizing. His talent isn't good enough for the risk off the pitch. I said that from the beginning. People calling me out for that. But I'm sorry. Jack Grealish is what he is. There was no market for him. So he signed a new 5-year deal at Aston Villa because that's his place. And for some people, right? Because you know what the great killer in life is? Expectation. For some people, big fish, small pond is great. Matt Letizia, for those of you that are old like me. Worldy player, stayed at Southampton, knew his place, he was loved. Jack Grealish is probably at his level for how serious he takes football. Jack Grealish is at his level considering how seriously he takes football. He doesn't take it seriously. He doesn't take it seriously. Talented guy. I'm not impressed by talent. I don't care. I think Greenwood, they got a problem there. I've seen that Ollie's worried, but that's a problem. I've always said, if you're a problem young before you get the money, trust me, take it from somebody who was a huge problem in his 20s. When it comes to erratic, problematic behavior, I don't need to give you secondhand knowledge on this. I was it. In Jack Grealish, I see every single red light there is. In England, they call it a big time Charlie. I love the character. I don't love it for Man United. You can have one, Pogba, but you can't have Pogba, Lingard, Martial, and Grealish. And now it turns out your captain is also about that life. Can't have it. And I think Roy Keane has said it best, and I think it was Gary Neville. You're not going to win with just choir boys. I totally agree, but you can have one mad one. Right? One mad one at a time. Man United, Roy Keane. Right? Eric Cantona. You have one. And Roy Keane took football really, really seriously. Really, really seriously. Right? It was a bit of a problem with him and Cantona. Then Cantona left. Things evened out and they, my God, beast mode again. But one crazy one at a time. Right? Vidic, just Vidic. Nutter. Absolute nutcase. Not two. You can't have Pogba, Grealish, Lingard. Now it becomes, what is the old saying, right? Is the inmates are running the prison cell or whatever. It can't happen like that. You can't have guys going to Mykonos now, being about that. Like, you got young Pereira as well, who I've heard is a little bit of a problem. You got Greenwood now going nuts. Lingard about J-Lings. This is Manchester United, people. Jack Grealish was never, ever going there, and I think he's done the best thing for his career. Stay at Aston Villa. You will never be loved anywhere like you will be. And most important, and I guess the easiest example, again, relationships. Don't try to be happier than happy, people. He will never be loved for who he is like he is at Aston Villa. The greatest gift, if anybody's in this situation in life right now, I'm so happy for you. The greatest situation in life is to be loved for who you are, not who somebody wants you to be. Because trust me, especially with what's happened with Maguire, the first thing that happens, right, to Jack Grealish, when he steps into the Manchester United dressing room, what happens? Ollie says, you need a haircut, my son. You pull your socks up. No more socks tucked into your shin pads, right? No more photos of you getting drunk with the lads on a boat. Then Man United say, hey, we will love you as we love you when you do what we want. Instead of at Aston Villa, they're going, oh my God, you're special. We'll never get a talent like you again. Plus, he's a proper Brummie. The fans love him. He's connected to the fans. So they love him for who he is, not who they wish he could be. Man United would love him for who they wish he could be, and they'd put a contract in front of him, and then he just doesn't strike me as the type of guy. If he can't change now at Aston Villa, why would he change at Man United? And when people won't change for £50,000 a week, when you give him £200,000 a week, that's what he is. Poor discipline, poor character, and he's been in plenty of trouble off the field. I don't love it. Red flags. Don't try and be happier than happy. I don't understand these guys sometimes. There's nothing worse than self-awareness or lack of it. Jack Grealish isn't good enough to be at Manchester United in the first place. He's probably on the bubble. But when you come with the character problems, I'm sorry. I don't do character problems. And I had them, so I know what to look for. Nobody can tell me what a worrisome character issue is. I lived it. I was it. I got kicked out of football academies for it. That was me. And the world's unfair, right? Is we give 20-year-olds £10 million a year, and we say, go ahead and live your life like a 60-year-old. But that's the world, right? To whom much is given, much is expected. So you're not a normal 20-year-old, and you must accept that. The ones who do become Cristiano Ronaldo, Arjen Robben, Leo Messi. The ones who don't become, I think, where Mason Greenwood will go and where Jack Grealish has gone. And the likes. And Nani went because he wasn't serious about football. We've seen lots of them. We've seen lots of them. Jack Grealish, there was never a market. I was dead right there. And it makes no sense to me why he wanted to leave anyway. Just stay at Aston Villa. That's what you are. They love you. Essentially, you're an upgrade on Mark Noble. That's what he is. a talented Mark Noble, and they love him at Villa. My God, I wish I could be as loved anywhere. When people love you for who you are, not who they want you to be, stay. Don't try and be happier than happy. Aston Villa, good job. And to whoever talked him down off that sort of lurch, congratulations. Good for Aston Villa. Good for Jack Grealish. At his level. At his level. So, I'm going to finish off with this before we get to Q&A. I saw Gary Neville saying the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard this weekend. So, Leeds played Liverpool, sorry. And the brilliant Egyptian, what he is brilliant. He really is top class. Mo Salah scored 2 goals. Right? His movement's dynamic. He shoots on sight. That snapshot on the left, quite brilliant. But don't tell me he's amongst the finest in the world. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why are we doing that? Gary Neville suggested he is up there with Ronaldo and Messi. And I got actively sick. I nearly vomited on my couch while I was watching. No, he's not. He's not close. It's not close. You don't get one great season and all of a sudden you're the guy. In heavyweight boxing, you don't get to beat the number 10 contender and then you're considered the best in the world. It's not how it works. Even when you get to the championship fight, is to beat a world champion is, even if you win on points. You saw it with Gennady Triple G, Golovkin, against Canelo. I think he got robbed, but he didn't absolutely, he didn't win it 10-8. You got to win the fight 10-8. All right? It was like 10-9. You don't become the new champion by displacing the incumbent like that. You need to pulverize the competition. Mo Salah has never had a season close to those two. So I'm just going to use those two. Mo Salah's not even on Arjen Robben's prime level, Frank Ribery's prime level, because they maintained it for 5-6 years. Mo Salah's had one great season. One great season. Not 2, 1. He's never, last season was his great season. But people will say, oh, you're biased because you're a Chelsea fan and Liverpool won the league, blah, blah, blah. All right. Men lie, women lie, numbers, they don't lie. Stop using the word great for everything. And I understand it's always on Twitter, it's always on YouTube now. So it's in your face. So it feels like, oh my God, this guy scored 1 trillion goals. Let me show you the last 5 seasons. Ronaldo, 51 goals, right? 15-16 and 16-17, 38 goals. 17-18, 42 goals. 18-19, 28 goals. Last season, 37 goals. Many of those seasons, double-digit assists. But it's when you say he's close to Leo Messi, when I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mo Salah, if he's on the 3rd tier, is fortunate. On the 3rd tier, I put people like Neymar, that type. I would even go with any of the Gnabry, I think, has probably put himself in that echelon. I think Lewandowski's probably on that 3rd tier, working towards the 2nd tier. I think he probably needs one more great season to really solidify himself as the real deal. And I'm a Bayern guy. So Leo Messi's last 5 seasons, the worst season Leo Messi has had is 38 goals. But with Messi, I'll give you goals and assists. 38 goals, 22 assists in 15-16. In 16-17, 54 goals, 14 assists. This is just for club, by the way. 17-18, 44 goals, 17 assists. 18-19, 52 goals, 18 assists. Last season, he had a horrible season. 30 goals and 25 assists. Mo Salah has never scored 50 goals in a season and has never got a 20 assist goal season. He hasn't. The best he's done, 17-18, 44 goals, all competitions, 14 assists. That's a mediocre season for Ronaldo and Messi. More so for Messi. For Leo Messi, that's a mediocre, that's a run-of-the-mill, we've got a La Liga and a Copa del Rey season. I don't grade on a curve. I'm sorry. Let's stop. I love the Premier League. It's the best product on earth. It's the toughest league on earth. Yes, I get all that. But let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. He's not a great player. What he is a good player. I would even argue very good player. But I'm going to need you to score 40 goals for maybe another 3 seasons before we even mention you in the same sentence. So let's not say 50, because that's ridiculous. Only Ronaldo and Messi can do that. Multiple 50-goal seasons just for club. Mo Salah just needs to show me 3 more seasons of 50 goals. Because if there's one thing he has enough of, he doesn't defend, right? And he gets all the chances. He takes all the penalties. He takes some set pieces. He does take some set pieces, even though they got Trent and Robertson there. So he's the penalty taker. They're going to get plenty. They're high pressure. They're brilliant. They won the league by 20 points. I mean, he is one of the most selfish guys in the world, which I like in a striker. So that's okay. But he's at 140-goal season. For Leo Messi, it's a disappointing season when he doesn't get 40. For Mo Salah, it's the season of a lifetime. Come on. Come on, people. And Gary Neville, I guess, I get being a homer, but come now. Come now. He doesn't belong. So the comp is, listen, first tier, Ronaldo, Messi, they're out on their own. But second tier, prime, I would say Eden Hazard. He had a horrible season last season, but I think it's Hazard, Mbappe, that kind of, that's the second tier. Third tier, Lewandowski, Salah, Mane, these types of guys. That's on the third tier. The 2 up front, please stop it. And I get this. Everyone's wife or girlfriend's the most beautiful in the world. Isn't that hilarious that it's always like that? Like, no, your wife's not, Scarlett Johansson. She's not. Which is okay, by the way. Because I'm not Idris Elba. I'm okay with that. Just accept it. That's okay. It's okay to say Mo Salah is good to very good. He's not great. And if you have to argue whether somebody's great or not, they're not great. Because if I say to you Mbappe or Salah, probably not sure. Even, you know what I think of Neymar, but if I say to you Neymar or Salah, but if I say to you Messi or anyone else, Ronaldo or anyone else, you don't have to think for 1 second. Like, it's those 2. Shut the hell up. I don't even need option 2. Mo Salah's not great. He's very good. Your wife's not the most beautiful wife in the world. That's okay. Not everybody's Giselle Bundchen. I'm not Idris Elba. That's cool. Let's accept who we are, people. We're all grown-ups, yeah? We're all grown-ups. And to be happy to accept your reality. The world is as it is, people. Not how you want it to be. Mo Salah's not great. Or what he's in is in a great team. With a great coach. With a connected fan base. And they're doing well. But he needs to score 40 goals for 3 more seasons in a row. Purely for his club. And I'd maybe like to see 20 assists with that. Before we start putting him in that conversation. Those are my thoughts. Love to know what you think. Coming up, Q&A. We will go Q&A. That's coming up after this. Alrighty, we are back in the mix. Back in the mix. MKT Show. I'm MKT, by the way. That is G Cliff, my guy. Social distancing, even though we are at level 1 now. Still wear a mask out there, fellow South Africans. If you're not in South Africa, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about what I'm talking about. But we are, by the letter of the law, somewhat free. We've always been free, actually. It's been fine. I don't know what people are talking about. We've been living our lives in South Africa, shopping. Let's put a mask on. We'll hate it. We'll have to do things we hate. Put a mask on. Put a mask on. You're not a superhero. You're not special. No one's special. Get on with it. So let's see how it goes. I hope small businesses can recover. By the way, shout out to Sean McLeod. I'll be promoting a few of our local businesses. No, not sponsored, but I'm a coffee guy. So if you know any small businesses, sport@cliffcentral.com. I will promote any small businesses, by the way. Any small businesses that I can use. So number one, what do I love? Coffee. I love high quality coffee. Charles McLeod, former, did he play for the Springboks? I think he did get a cap, but he played for the Sharks and he played overseas in France. Great rugby player, great career. They've got a coffee company now. So I've got some of their coffee. Absolutely delicious. I think it's called Two Lads and a Toucan. So, but I'll have some of that coffee on. So sport@cliffcentral.com for anything I'll use. So anything health related, right? And I don't mean like shakes. I don't take any shakes, like energy drinks from small companies and coffee, really. Coffee is the one thing I will use. I will use exercise equipment. If there's a small business, it must already be running. So not a startup where people aren't guaranteed a production or sort of delivery. If you've already established that you can deliver, you've got production going, happy to support you if you're a small business. I love living in South Africa, by the way. I love my country. So a small business, let me know. Sport@cliffcentral.com. Anything I'll use. Because I'm not a corporate guy, right? I'm not going to be out here just a talking head and talk about stuff just because they give me money. I'm not going to do it. I believe in authentic relationships. So for me, small business, let me know. If I'm going to use it, number one, my favorite thing in the world. If you know anybody who makes great coffee, let's support them. I will promote them. Sport@cliffcentral.com. Tell them to hit me up. All righty. Q&A, MKT Show. Let's go for it. Dave, what we got? Not sure who this is from, but Arsenal violated the don't try to be happier than happy rule when they got rid of Arsene Wenger. So this is from Ryan Alex Ferreira. Arsenal violated the don't try and be happier than happy rule when they got rid of Arsene Wenger. Listen, I have to agree. And I mean, that is my rule. If you're happy, stay. Although, here's what my argument would be. Happy isn't just when one part is happy in a relationship. If you're like me and you're a bachelor, the perennial bachelor, as my mom continues to call me, she says I'm the perennial bachelor, is if you're happy on your own, that's cool. If you're in a relationship, remember, then holistic happiness isn't your own. Arsenal and Wenger were no longer in a relationship. One part was very unhappy, the fans, and the board was geeky because it was all cool, guaranteed. And then there was a disconnect. So I don't think they violated that rule. But if you're an Arsenal fan and you feel that way, because what you might say is, hey, with the very same budgets, Wenger was getting top 4 for 18 years in a row or whatever it was. But I don't know if the fans were happier anymore. And I think Arsene Wenger had lost his teeth. The job had started to become a chore for him. He wasn't like Fergie. Fergie was sharp, and he felt sharp till the end. It wasn't the same Wenger as 15 years ago. And I think Fergie took a lot out of him. Then Mourinho came. Then City came. It's tough. And I think Wenger is more professorial than he is that dog. Now it's about a dog-eat-dog world. It's a young man's job now. That's what makes Fergie great. Fergie's greatness isn't just the titles that he won. It's the longevity. And longevity is rare. That's why there's only one Warren Buffett. That's why there's only one Microsoft. Longevity is very rare. I mean, look at all the great companies. BlackBerry didn't last that long. Nokia's success wasn't that long. Kodak's success wasn't that long. That's why Toyota are so remarkable. I mean, we're talking about the 80s, 90s, and then the noughties. We saw what they did. Longevity is very, very rare. So whether Arsenal were happy or not, I'll leave that to you as an Arsenal fans. But I might push back a little on whether they violated that rule. But they might say, yeah, he kept us top 4 on basically no budget. Dave, what's next? Aha. So what do you think about Neymar playing the race card? So I did address this the other day. Is that, listen, racism's real, by the way. And I've experienced it. I continue to experience it, but whatever. This isn't about me. It's about Neymar. It's, for me, the problem isn't the issue. Let's put the race thing aside. Is anything serious? I only want serious people representing us when it's a serious matter. Neymar Jr. has shown me that he's not to be taken seriously on any front. He can't even control his own life. How can he then go and speak out for other people? Corruption involved everywhere he's gone. His first transfer from Santos to Barcelona, absolutely corruption riddled. Don't tell me you're 19, dude. Take control. Take control. I don't want to hear. The reality of life is nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your excuses. And if you're going to be involved in that, did an Instagram model kind of, that got ugly, had to pay her off. I mean, there's a pattern of behavior here as this is not a person to be taken seriously. Is he a magnificent football player? Is he a great sort of commercial icon? Yes. I don't take that away from him. He's a magnificent footballer. He embraces, I think, a lot from, I've never been to Brazil, but a lot of what we see from the media is he embraces everything about being Brazilian and from zero to hero. I think it's an extremely inspirational story for people. But when we come to adult matters, he's not to be taken seriously. And racism is far too serious a matter for me to put any credence in him dealing with it. Maybe he was racially abused. Maybe he was. I'm not saying he wasn't. But I'm not willing to take him seriously on anything. Whether it's race, it's football, it's administration, it's what should happen for players. He's not somebody I'll take seriously. Now, Vincent Kompany, I would take seriously. If Vincent Kompany, I bet you how he would have dealt with it. They would have got a press report together. Kompany would have organized a press conference, dealt with it with a press team, got a PR team in and around it, and then you deal with it constructively because then you make your case bulletproof. Vincent Kompany would have got, like an adult, lawyers, PR people. He would have set up a press conference maybe at his house with lighting, a pre-recorded sort of statement. That's how you do it. You don't go to social media and now he's like, you know what you said, I know what I did. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram. Sorry, people. Neymar is not to be taken seriously. That doesn't mean he's not a brilliant footballer. We must separate those two. There's a famous line of thinking, it's called existentialism. We must understand that two things can be true. Neymar can be an outstanding footballer while also not being taken seriously as a human being. We must be careful that just because you're famous, by the way, it doesn't make you smarter than anybody. It doesn't mean I should take you seriously when it comes to intellectual matters. Just because you're famous. Fame is nothing. Fame is not real. Fame is not real. And Neymar shows that. I'm sorry. He is who he is. I'm sorry. No character, all talent. And good for him. Listen, I want Neymar to get, I'm so happy. I read the numbers for the Puma deal that he just got. Of course, he'll follow in the famous the real number 10's shoes. The real Joga Benito. Pelé. Of course, a Puma hero. And the numbers for Neymar. Go get all the money, brother. But don't talk about anything serious because you're not the guy. So those are my thoughts. Whether that answers your question or not, Neymar is not to be taken seriously, ever. Dave, what's next? Stu Blue, how good is Marnus Labuschagne? For those of you cricket fans out there, it is absolutely sickening as a South African. It's another one. how do they have Steve Smith and now Marnus Labuschagne and they've just taken him? I mean, I don't consider him South African. He left early enough, like whatever. I don't think Charlize Theron is South African anymore. It's not like she was great here and left. Elon Musk, don't consider him South African. The now Brooklyn Nets coach, Steve Nash, Roger Federer, of course, born here. I don't consider him South African. We didn't really invest in Marnus Labuschagne. I think he left at 6 or 7. He is absolutely out of this world. He's the best number 4 on the planet. They've got the best middle order. This is sickening. The guy, what? They're going to go from Michael Clark to this guy. His test average is what? 60 already. High 50s, 60. What? And you know what he looks like? He looks like your typical Australian as well. He's like a mix of Michael Clark with that kind of Steve Waugh toughness. He doesn't look like he's got that Africa. I mean, he's Labaskachni really, but of course he's an anglicized Australia. So Labuschagne, that toughness. If you've played rugby or cricket against Afrikaans schools, you know there's a level of those Afrikaans boys are tough, man. There's something else. I don't know whether it's taught or it's bred. He's a tough nut, that Marnus Labuschagne, and then the talent's off the charts. And all the articles I've read about is he's basically like Mr. Cricket. Works all day, just hits the cricket ball all day, thousands and thousands of reps. He's the best number 4 in world cricket. Joe Root, sit the hell down. Kane Williamson, sit the hell down. This is the guy. And then you've got Steve Waugh. You've got Steve Smith. And I guess Labuschagne's batting 3, but I think they'll probably move him down to 5 or maybe leave him at 3, whatever. The guy's so brilliant. He's certainly the best. Let's call him a number 3 for now, because I think that is where they're going to keep him. Although I'd bet him at 5, because then you think, we got Steve Smith out. Labuschagne. The best. He's the best. He's the second best batsman in world cricket. Right? But certainly the best at whether you consider him 3 or 5. Absolutely the best. And you know why he's so good? He does the most important thing in Test cricket. Better than anybody in world cricket, I think. He leaves the ball unbelievably well. Unbelievably well. That's the best skill a Test cricketer can have, a batsman. Best in the business. Best in the business. And then you got, I think it's not fair to compare anybody to Smith. So yeah, Australia, rock solid for the next 5-6 years. They'll be unbeatable in Test cricket. And I think they might go to India and win a Test series. Dave, what we got? The Rig says, sometimes the good times weren't gone. You just got caught cheating or you called her mum a C-word. It's probably to go back then once you have worked through the anger. Okay, well, it's probably acceptable to go back once you've worked through the anger. You see, here's the thing. Here's the beauty of being angry. You know what angry people do? They tell you the truth. I like it when people get fired up, right? Because you lose a bit of control. You lose a bit of that reserved nature. The great thing about angry people is they'll tell you the truth. You ever seen an angry child? Right? Because what does society do to all of us? It's like, don't hurt anybody's feelings. And we're always playing off the sort of win. It becomes a zero-sum game. It's in order for me to win, they have to lose. And then it becomes, how can I win really by being kind of conservative enough to not hurt that other person's feelings, but also get what I want without hurting their feelings? Whereas if you want to see the truth, ask an angry person. There's 2 people that'll tell you the truth in life. Drunk and angry. So for me, it's unacceptable to say, I said it in anger, right? So, okay, it's okay. Mm-mm. No, that was actually that's what you wanted to. They say, a drunk man's words are, is it a drunk man's words or a sober man's thoughts? And I have the same approach to anger. When you're angry, you're going to tell me the truth. Because it's at that stage you stop considering my feelings. So for me, never go back. The reason you break up, the reason you may have called her mom the C-word, that's not going to go away. That's not going to go away. So for me, anger is not an excuse. Anger is not an excuse. As you can tell, I'm not too big on forgiveness. But maybe I need to work on that, you know? They say, and my mother always says this to me, and it's a good line, but I'm not sure I'm there yet. She says, you know, forgiveness is a gift only given to the strong. The weak can never forgive. So maybe was that the rig? You may be correct. But for me, my rule, never go back. And angry people, two people on planet Earth tell you the truth. Angry, drunk. Drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts. Jesse Randolph says, Chelsea v Liverpool, what's your prediction? That game will tell us a lot about that Liverpool team. I think Klopp going to shut Lampard up for chatting shit. Listen, Jesse, I wanted to talk about it on Friday, but good question. I think Lampard, I'm unbelievably disappointed in Lampard. I think Brighton actually could have beaten Chelsea. I don't understand why. Kepa, we saw the goal that Chelsea conceded. He's the worst keeper Chelsea have ever had, and one of the worst keepers to ever play in the Premier League statistically. So that's not me saying it. That is the numbers saying it. He had the worst save ratio, right? Shots to save ratio in the Premier League last year of all the teams. He played in the top 4 team. How's that possible? How is that possible? And then, I'm sorry, Jorginho is awful. If Chelsea play like they played against Brighton, I expect Liverpool to win 3 or 4-0. Because Jorginho, here's the problem with Jorginho, is he's supposed to give you game control, right? He's supposed to control the tempo. But Brighton controlled the possession. How is that possible? Brighton controlled the possession and the tempo of the game. He got played off the park by Solly March. But here's the real problem for Lampard, is that he wants to play a high-press game like Liverpool do. The problem is that Jorginho can't catch up with the game, so they can't press high because he's not athletic enough to get on their attacking mid or their last striker who's pressing back. So the team can constantly turn. And when Chelsea are caught on the counter-attack, which Liverpool do brilliantly, Jorginho's not athletic enough to bring the guy down, to intercept the ball. So he's useless going both ways, really. I don't know what he does other than take penalties for Chelsea. He doesn't give them game control, and he's invisible on defense. A lot of people say Chelsea need better defenders. No, I don't care who you are. Look at all the best defenses in the world. What do they have in front of them? Right? We're starting to see some problems at Liverpool because I don't know what's happened to Fabinho, why he thinks he's an attacking mid now. But without that holding mid, it's impossible to be a good team. The best example you'll ever see if you watch football for a long time, Los Galacticos were never the same after Makelele left. They were never the same. They were never the same. You have to protect the centre-backs. And Jorginho, I'm afraid, doesn't do either. He doesn't give you game control, and he doesn't protect the back four. So what the bloody hell is he doing? So for me, this weekend, if Lampard plays Jorginho, I think Chelsea will lose, and they'll lose quite easily. And it could get ugly. Like I'm talking 3 or 4, because I don't expect Havertz to be ready. He's not ready. He doesn't understand the system. The problem for Chelsea is having Havertz and Mason Mount is they're the same guy, right? They want to give and go in midfield, but what they really want to do is arrive late into the box. They don't want to tick-a-tack in the middle. Essentially, they leave Jorginho alone in the midfield. Where Jorginho is kind of okay is when he's got Conte and Kovacic, because they'll babysit. Mason Mount doesn't want to babysit. He wants to play 1-2, and then he wants to bomb on into the box because it'll go wide to Reece James. To the left, he wants to play with Alonso and the striker. 1-2, I want to get in the box, have a shot. Jorginho needs too much babysitting. Just play Conte. Like, I don't get it. And I know what Lampard's trying to do. Is he thinks Jorginho will give me that game control and sort of the Pirlo type of he's really looking for somebody to manage the game there. What he wants is Andre Pirlo, Xabi Alonso, you know? That's what they give you. And, I mean, the ultimate of all ultimates, there's 2, I think, all-timers, right? Xabi Alonso, Toni Kroos. I think that's what he wants. But I'm sorry, those two are animals as well. Without the ball, Xabi Alonso kick you right in the face. He doesn't care. Tremendous athlete. But he gave you the ball control and the game intelligence. He could get around the park. Jorginho is, I don't know what Jorginho's gift is. So the only time Jorginho worked at Napoli, you know why? is they played really deep. So what Jorginho got to do was really sit on top of the back four. Lampard's system is different. It needs you to be athletic because he needs you to catch up with the game and play quickly. Jorginho doesn't play quickly. Jorginho wants the ball. He wants to look up. Give me the ball, look up, ball movement. Doesn't work. Not in Lampard's system. It's quick recycling. You've often seen Lampard getting frustrated, getting up. Let's get the ball going. So to answer your question, I think if Jorginho plays, Chelsea lose quite comfortably. What's next, David? The small banana. I love Test cricket, but struggle to get friends excited about it if they don't know the sport. I don't watch MLB, but when I do, it seems dull. Can you explain what gets you excited about it? So MLB, look, MLB's, I think with Major League Baseball, it's one of those things. Is if you don't understand baseball and the essence of it, right, is I like technical sport. I'm just that guy. I can't even explain it. It's one of those things where if I have to explain it, you're not going to understand it. But for me, I like particularly watching pitches. It's all about what they call command. So it's a tiny, tiny little square that they call the strike zone. The variety of deliveries, the variety of ways to get a batsman out, right? A slider, fastball, when to throw a fastball, when bases are loaded, if the pitch count gets up, or a pitcher gets behind, which is when you throw something, there's a ball, which is in cricket, you might call it a no ball. But in baseball, you get 3 balls and the batsman gets to walk. So a ball is when you can throw it, is when you throw it outside the strike zone and the batsman leaves it. You throw 3 of those and a batsman walks. Sometime if a batsman's brilliant, you'll see them walk a batsman. Anyway, so I like to watch for those little idiosyncrasies. And I played baseball when I was younger. I loved playing baseball. It's such a cool game. It's like really imagine being a child, and I'm pretty sure you've thrown a tennis ball with a brother or a sister in the backyard or on a cricket field. It's like doing that with a bunch of your mates. So, and then because I've been in baseball for so long, I love the technical idiosyncrasies. Both the batting, the batting's a highly technical thing. So it's really like Test cricket, except even more dreary because it's so technical. It's so technical. And baseball, if you look at the why they're losing to the NBA and the NFL, is it's an old person sport because you got to watch for long. It takes long, 9 innings. So it's not for everyone. I can understand that. And I would never try and sell baseball to anybody. But Test cricket's non-negotiable. It's the highest. It's the best cricket's got to offer. The best cricket's got to offer. And if people don't get it, they can go jump in a lake. I don't care, quite frankly. Don't listen. If you invite me to watch cricket with you, and it's one-day cricket, it's T20 cricket, I'll sit in the box. I'm not going to sit in the stands getting burnt by the sun to watch T20 cricket or one-day cricket. Free lunch says, where do you get your analogies? Can we do some future ones that aren't based on your failed relationships? Well, I think relationship analogies, you know what I like to do? I like to speak about real life experiences. I don't want to make stuff up because then it's not organic. That's why people call me the people's champ. People's champ's got to keep it real. Speaking of keeping it real, by the way, I'll tell you where I get my analogies. But hey, FPL, if you haven't joined, go and join the Fantasy Premier League. The password N1IHEH. So every letter is lowercase. MKT Show FPL. N, the number 1, IHEH. Can you outdo me? Listen, there will be a prize for the winner. Nobody cares about second place. And there's no tied first place. There'll be a tiebreaker. If you've won the most weeks or whatever, we'll find a way of making sure who's the winner. I'll decide. But there will only be one winner. I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear about... There's only one winner. Misty Eyes. Oh, good song that, isn't it? Misty Eyes says, Salah was up there with Messi and Ronaldo in 17-18. Better than Ronaldo, if slightly. Why would you say he has declined since then? Was it above his level? Well, I'll tell you what, Misty Eyes. 17-18. Dave, won't you give us that slide again so I can explain it to you how when I say great. When I say great, I don't consider if you were great for one season as greatness. All right? So let's take a look at that. You said 17-18, Salah was better than Messi and Ronaldo. So Cristiano Ronaldo in that season, 42 goals, 8 assists. So Salah, 44 goals, 14 assists. Right? So you could say he's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. In the very same season, Cristiano Ronaldo, same amount of, or Leo Messi, 44 goals, 17 assists. So let me tell you why I say he's not great. That's Mo Salah's high end, right? That's Salah's high end. That is Leo Messi's low end. And he still had a better season, by the way. Leo Messi got 3 more assists in that season. And let me tell you the other difference, right? And why I keep saying to people, I don't care about talent. In team sports, I don't care about talent, right? If you want to be great, you know what you got to do. Take everyone else with you. Leo Messi has gone on to win Champions League and league doubles and league trebles. True greatness is when you separate yourself from the rest. Lots of teams. Listen, let me tell you about a team that I support. They had a water boy as the coach. They went and won an FA Cup and a Champions League double in that season. Roberto Di Matteo. Remember that season? He lasted 6 months. That season, they won a Champions League. And so that's what makes Didier Drogba great. That is great. Mo Salah had one season where he won the Champions League and another where he won the league. If you want to be great, you know what you do? League, FA Cup double. And that's on Mo Salah to go, all right, I'm going to take the team with me. So that's where Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi separate themselves. Not only were their numbers far better over extended periods of time, it's a team sport. Take everyone else with you. So Mo Salah, I'm going to need you to take us to an FA Cup and league this season, and we can start having conversation. Because honestly, what's Mo Salah done that Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't done, that Didier Drogba hasn't done? In fact, Didier Drogba, Thierry Henry, they've done far more in the league. Far more in the league. Over longer periods of time. So forget about Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, that's just stupid. Let's just look in-house. Let's talk. They won a Champions League and a league in different seasons. That's 1 trophy a season. Didier Drogba, how many doubles has he led Chelsea to? Thierry Henry, how many doubles? How many times is he the top goal scorer in the league? Unbeaten season. The Invincibles. What has Mo Salah done to separate himself from the rest? Because when you go from very good to great, you must do something to separate yourself from the rest. Robert Lewandowski this season has separated himself from probably every genuine number 9 in the world. Do I think he's top step? Not yet. It's only 1 season, Roberto. Do it again. Leo Messi has 2 treble seasons. Cristiano Ronaldo, 3 Champions League seasons in a row. League, Champions League double at Real Madrid. He's done that. Manchester United, league 3. You know what Cristiano Ronaldo did at Man United? He won the league 3 times in a row. He won this is what I'm talking about. When I say great, I'm sorry, great, there mustn't be, you have to justify it. With Mo Salah, all he's done, Champions League, league, where's the other stuff? Where's the other stuff? Because Frank Lampard will tell you, I was part of a team, we went away to Barcelona, beat them, went and won an FA Cup and a Champions League double. Where's Salah's double? And he's got a great team, by the way. So it's not like Mo Salah's playing in a rubbish team. You know what everybody at Man City can tell you? We won every single trophy available in England. That's greatness. Nobody else has done that. Leicester have won the league. You don't get 2 league titles, by the way, just because you won it by 20 points. So So for Mo Salah to go from good to great, is he needs 4 seasons of 40 goals and 15 assists. Because that's the standard. That's what Leo Messi's done. That's what Ronaldo's done. So if you want to be great, we don't grade on a curve here. 1 season of greatness, and all of a sudden we're going to compare him. Leo Messi's been doing it for 10 seasons. Hey, let me tell you something. Leo Messi once scored 80 goals in 1 calendar year. 80 goals in 1 calendar year. Come on now. I'm not hating on Mo Salah. But if we don't grade on the curve, if the standard is 50 goals a season, because that's what Ronaldo and Messi did for 5-6 seasons. I tell you what, maybe I'm being unreasonable by saying he must score 40 goals for 3 seasons in a row. Give me 50 goals for 1 season. Hey, just 1 season where if Mo Salah can go and get me 50 goals in all competitions for Liverpool, Just one season. By the way, yeah, and people say, oh, Serie A is easier. He had 2 seasons at Roma. Why couldn't he do it? Cristiano Ronaldo in his first season, I'll tell you what, give me 50 goals at Juventus. It is 40, what did he get? 49, I think. In his first season. Dave, just give me that list once more. Because I feel like I need to nail this home. Like Liverpool fans are getting too excited. Let's just look at these Ronaldo numbers are just out of hand. Look at those last 2 seasons. So Mo Salah, right? This is all his Liverpool years. He's only gone above 30 goals once. Once above 30 goals. All competitions. Once. You want to come and tell me about greatness? Leo Messi in the last 5 seasons, and I've left out his best years, by the way, hasn't gone below 35 goals and 10 assists. And 14 assists. We could even say it. His worst season was 14 assists. His worst season in the last 5 years is 30 goals. 30 goals, 25 assists last season, Lionel Messi. And for Messi to have a 30-20 season isn't news. For Messi to have a 50 goal, 15 assist season isn't news. Mo Salah's excited about 44 goals and 14 assists. Never given me 20 assists, never given me 50 goals. He's only gone over 30 goals once. Come on now. Come on, mate. I'm not saying Mo Salah hasn't had one good season, but come on. And you got to take your team with you. Team sport. Dave, what's next? Jesse Randolph says Wenger declined. He made a few mistakes. Wenger declined. He made a few mistakes when we could spend money again, but losing all our best players, not addressing the defensive issue for years. He had to leave after the FA Cup win in 2015. So somebody said just now is, where do I get all my analogies? Jesse Randolph, I couldn't agree with you more. Wasn't that the best way? I've had, and I'll keep saying this because it's my truth. It's the truth. I don't like to make things up. I've had 2 great girlfriends. Right? I'm emotionally immature. I'm an idiot. But they were both so mature. The breakup process in both, I would recommend them to anybody. I have no bitterness in my heart because of how they dealt at the end, right? It wasn't bitter. It wasn't bitter. It's always best when you leave on your own terms, right? Arsene Wenger got really kicked out by the fans. And he could have gone out at the top. The saddest thing about Arsene Wenger for me is he started to get the God complex. And when you allow your emotions, the more important decision in life, take your emotions out of it. Right? I've always said this, is if it's not important, be as emotional as you like. Where are we going on a holiday? What are we having for dinner? Like, whatever. Is who's my financial advisor? Who's my girlfriend or boyfriend going to be? Take your emotions out of it for those decisions. What's the next job I should take? Who's my mentor that I should have in life? Right? These are the important things. Don't get emotional. Don't go, oh, hey, my gut says. No. Get that nonsense out. This isn't Oprah and Gail and Dr. Phil. This is real life. The more important the decision, take your emotions out of it. Arsene Wenger started to let his emotions into it, and he started to feel like a god. Is show some self-awareness, right? It's not Arsene Wenger FC. Arsenal will be here after you. It was here long before you. They were winning titles long before you. Leave at the top, because you know what you do then is your legacy secured forever. Now I'd say the Arsenal fan base is pretty split, and there's nothing worse than a bad breakup. I've just seen too many where people hold on for too long, and then it becomes what? Resentful, both sides. Because now I remember Arsene Wenger saying he'll never come back. Where? The fans say, I don't want you back. It didn't have to be that way. The greatest sign of maturity, folks. Know when it's over. Know when it's over. Don't stick around. If she's resentful, you're resentful. It's ugly now. Doesn't need to be that way. I've had 2 great relationships, and I thank those 2 girlfriends for they've taught me so much. Know when it's over. It's okay. It's okay for things to end. Go cry on your pillow at home, but know when it's over and walk away. Great point, Jesse Randolph. I totally agree. Should have walked away after that FA Cup. The small banana. How can you talk about no tied first? There's only one first, but you claim tied third when you were clearly fourth. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Chelsea and Manchester United, those who don't know what this question is talking about, the small banana is that I keep saying Chelsea and Man United would tie third. They had the same points and they got the same reward for it. So the difference between that and Manchester United and Man City was that even though they had the same points, when Sergio Aguero scored that goal and they won on goal difference, as Man United separate themselves from Chelsea with, there was a different reward for Manchester City. The reward was a title to no title. So that's the difference. Chelsea and Man United got the same reward. So it's really tied third, same points. The goal difference doesn't matter. It only separates you when there's a different reward. So it was, if it was, I'll tell you what, if it was a race for fourth and fifth, right? Fifth doesn't get Champions League place. So then the points, the tied points thing doesn't matter. But in this case, it's tied third. We both got Champions League. So don't know how much simpler to make it. I mean, jeez, what am I dealing with here? What is next, Dave? Unbelievable. These people. Folks, hey, folks, you've been great. We've got 2 more questions and then we will wrap it up. Sean Fox says, English cricket summer is over with today's ODI with some great cricket to watch. IPL now, but is there anything else good on the cards? Obviously, not the Proteas. I mean, if you're talking about purely cricket, no, because there's no test cricket on the horizon. So no. IPL's a dog show. I will not be watching a single ball of IPL, and you can expect to hear little to nothing about IPL on this show. I absolutely hate T20 cricket. Absolutely hate T20 cricket. And I can barely stand one-day cricket. So on the horizon, no, nothing. There's no good test cricket on the horizon. I guess the good test series that are left is what? The Ashes, England, Australia, India. Anybody playing India, I guess, in India is pretty cool to watch. South Africa, England, South Africa, Australia. There's probably only 3 or 4 test series, and they're diluting it now. So the only thing that's good in cricket that's left, to be honest with you, is the Ashes. Everything else it's mediocre. It's a bit of a dog show. Because in order for test cricket to be good, you need a 5-test series. Because you need the touring side to come and settle, get used to conditions. And often it takes 1 or 2 tests to get into it mentally, emotionally. The guys are away from their family. They need to settle in. You got to get to learn your teammates, the support staff, the logistics. It might be the climate where you're in, the people around you, the restaurants. You find your favorite restaurants. Touring is an extremely mentally sort of grinding thing. So let me be honest with you. If it's not a 5-test series, don't ever ask me about cricket again. The only good thing in cricket is a 5-test match series. So unless you're talking about Ashes, don't ask me that again. The only thing that matters is 5-test series. And the only thing that's good right now, that's going, is the Ashes. Because nobody else plays 5-test match series. So IPL, no one, maybe people out there care. I do not, and expect to hear nothing of it. But my God, are you kidding me? NFL is back, and the NBA finals are going right now. Two best business models in the world. The Premier League's back. I mean, the Premier League's the best sport in the world. It is the best sporting product in the world. Now, the NFL, I keep saying best business model. The NFL is unbelievable. And if you love football, the college football season's back. Oh my goodness, I love college football. The Americans do it different. This is what cricket doesn't understand. This is what I think we don't understand here in South Africa about. Stop worrying about it as a sport. Start selling it as a product. So for me, I'm a sports nut. The MLB is about to go into real baseball. We're talking about playoff baseball now. Oh my goodness, that's when it gets good. You see guys under pressure. Mookie Betts, by the way, go and Google him. $365 million, and he's hitting everything out the park. Everything's out the park. And the pitching's been unbelievable this year. 60 games, it's a sprint. So guys are throwing heat. I'm seeing guys throwing 103 miles. Absolutely brilliant. So basketball. We saw the Clippers got dismissed last night. I don't ever want to hear anybody say Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James' name in the same sentence ever again. Absolutely ridiculous. Jamal Murray, shut your face. 40 points last night. Wet from mid-range. Wet. Jamal Murray. Mid-range game. Nasty. Right, NBA coming up. NFL coming up. Premier League's back. I think we'll start to see La Liga roll back. IPL, shove that, put that in a grave 8 feet under the ground. I never want to see T20 cricket in my face ever. Hey, guys, you've been awesome. I think we've got one more question and then we will move on. We will move on to tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, James Dalton, before I take Ryan Alex Ferreira's question, tomorrow, the great World Cup winner, hey, the Bullet, James Dalton and Woude Muller return tomorrow. It'll be a great show if you're a rugby fan. Great show. Can't wait. They'll have an awesome amount to discuss tomorrow. Ryan Alex Ferreira says, when Klopp and Guardiola inevitably leave Liverpool and Man City, are they doomed to go through the same troubled times as Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea? No, I do not think so. And let me tell you why. So it's interesting that you think Chelsea have gone through the same trouble as Arsenal. Arsenal haven't won a league title in 18 years. So I think the models are different. Right. So Dave, can you just maybe leave that question up so I can read it while I give the answer? Because I think it's important to discern what the ownership and club models are. So let's go through all of them. So Liverpool now, it's clear who the most important person at the club is. It's John W. Henry and Werner. So the club is centered around the owners rather than the manager and staff as Man United were. Right? So the polarity is, you know why Man United struggled? You know why Arsenal fell off a cliff? Is the model was around the manager. Right? Think about it. Wenger and Sir Alex were there for over 2 decades for the one, over 15 years for the other. Right? So the model was the manager's the most important person at the club. Right? When you have that, is everything is set up by Fergie. Everything is set up by Wenger. Right? When they leave, massive hole. And Man United had a very unique situation. So let's start with United. United had David Gill and Fergie leave. I believe David Gill is the greatest administrator football has ever seen in England. Arsenal had a very similar thing, remember. They had David Dean, who was in the 90s the greatest operator maybe in world football. He left. Wenger fell off a cliff. Wenger left, things have gone awry. So the model of ownership there was managed the most important. That's why Arsenal and United fell off a cliff. Chelsea won the I'm not sure why you think Chelsea have had troubled times. Chelsea are the most, outside of Man United, they're the most successful club in Premier League history, and they're the most successful club they are 5 Premier League titles, right? Since Roman Abramovich arrived since 2004, Chelsea have won 5 Premier League titles, equal to Man United. 5 Premier League titles. Nobody has been as successful as Chelsea. And Chelsea won the league 2 years ago. So I'm not too sure why you think Chelsea are in troubled times. But here's the difference between, and I think Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City will constantly be fine because the ownership model is the owner is the most important person at the club. So it's owner-centric, which means, as you've seen with Roman Abramovich, don't care who's here. John W. Henry has established, all right, listen, it's Klopp, it's great, it's going to work, but it's about the owners. Great ownership. And then at Man City, I mean, how many managers do they need to win titles for us to see that the owners are great? Pellegrini won, right? Roberto Mancini won, right? And now Guardiola. At Chelsea, how many managers are we going to... As I said, a water boy, Roberto Di Matteo, went and won the Champions League and FA Cup double. That's a very rare thing to happen in British football. FA Cup and Champions League double, that's unheard of. Di Matteo came in one, right? Avram Grant went to a Champions League final. Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti came and won a title. Antonio Conte came and won a title. So where the owner is the most important person, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, I think they'll be fine. Arsenal and United struggled because they were surrounded around the manager. And I think that's a terrible, terrible form of ownership. There's no continuity in that model. So I do not believe Man City and Liverpool will be doomed because the ownership will be great and they'll keep funding and keep making sure that they got the best. And you know what's great? They're ruthless. What did they do to Brendan Rodgers? Came close. We don't care. You're not the guy. Get the hell out of here. John W. Henry. Go and read his story about how the Boston Sports ownership group, what they did to go and get the Red Sox to go and win another, I think it was their first title, was it in 20 or 30 years? 20 or 30 years. So they know how to win because it's owner central model. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, the owners are the most important people. Man United, Arsenal, we've now seen. Ain't going to work when you make the manager the most important person at the club. It's too frail. I mean, go and look at the big clubs in the world. You know who they really make the most important person? There's a role called sporting director. Chelsea had Michael Emiliano. They've got Marina Gronkowski now. I still got to get Marina's surname right, by the way. She's brilliant. So Michael Emiliano was before. And then we see, look how brilliant Man City was. They set up the board so that Guardiola could just come and coach. It was the old Catalan board. The European model, sporting directors. They give you continuity. Man United and Arsenal did not have that. They had the manager doing everything. He was the manager, sporting director, coach, transfers. And now they're rebuilding. Long way to tell you, I do not believe Liverpool and Man City will have problems. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow South Africans, welcome to Level 1. It's been good. It's been good. Tomorrow we're going to have a great show. We're going to finish the week off strong. Friday, Corné Krige. SA Hardman. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Hey, guys, you could have been anywhere tonight with anybody doing whatever you like. I don't know why you watch this show. I mean, who's this talking meathead over here? I mean, look at this. Who could love this face? Well, I love you for loving this show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the MKT Show. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It has been a pleasure.